Uruguay, a small, peaceful country in South America. Every year, thousands of visitors come to the peaceful Uruguayan beaches to rest during the summer. Its population is mostly Spanish or Italian in origin. It is one of the most European countries in Latin America. Despite being the smallest country on the continent, Uruguay is considered to have one of the highest standards of living. A recent article published by The Economist referred to Uruguay as the only real democratic country in South America. According to the New York Times, Uruguay is the most economically stable country and also the safest in Latin America for business investment. But surely something must be wrong here. Although it is true that 50 years ago, Uruguay was called the Switzerland of America, currently this is not the case.
En cambio, constante, todo se mueve y deja de ser lo que era antes.
The United States can think that Uruguay is a rich country. It's not a rich country. I've been here for 10 years. I can tell you from bad situations to good situations, but it is not a rich country.
In reality, to be able to purchase a used car or rent a good apartment to live in are things that many Uruguayans will never be able to enjoy. The truth is that a considerable part of the population just barely manages to earn enough to buy the basics of food and clothing, even though they might hold down 2 jobs, and many go deeply into debt. All this without mentioning the thousands of families that move to marginalized areas of the city looking for a place to live. But even sadder and lamentable is the moral and spiritual crisis about which little is spoken.
The biggest need here in Uruguay, of course, is the spiritual need.
We see that crime is on the increase. We also see that the nurturing family home is on the decrease. So we see a society that is deteriorating at a very fast pace.
Sadly, people almost don't get married anymore. We have to celebrate every time there is a wedding in the church.
Several pastors make mention of the great despair, loneliness, and sadness that floods the silent streets of Uruguay, plunging many into desperation and death.
El tema de la depresión se ha multiplicado.
The problems caused by depression have multiplied. Every day there are more and more drugs in the area of analytics, antidepressants, tranquilizers, and sleeping medications, and this also reveals a spiritual need. People lack motivation, which has characterized in part our nation.
According to official figures, Uruguay is among the first countries in the world in regards to suicides. As Christians, we know that this has to do with the lack of faith in God in a country characterized by spiritual skepticism and secularism.
In the past, our country has been described as secular, atheist, and non-believing. But lately, I think things are changing.
I think the church was a great giant who was asleep, but now is waking up. She ceased to be in her 4 walls and has begun to take to the streets to share the love of Jesus and the support he offers.